going on, everyone? Back here, I'm doing a short announcement just before the video begins, otherwise you might get a bit misled. The first hour or so is me and the Blue Wizard leader showing off pretty much Moria 2.0 beta test version for their next update. Now that will end at about the 1 hour mark of the video, maybe a bit more. There is a post discussion where we kind of just talk about different things that we're into, like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Like, we go on a bit of a tangent at the end. If you are not interested in that, don't feel obligated to watch it. It's not till the end of the video anyway. And first of all, I hope you enjoy. Thank you for the Blue Wizard mod leader for allowing us to do this. If you want to check out Moria's 2.0, keep watching. Oh, look out.
Yeah.
Look out, it's gonna break.
Oh man. I hope that, I just compiled everything and I took one quick look and I hope everything works fine.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues from like the 10 seconds I played, but who knows.
Yeah, so
Oh, there we go. Ooh, widescreen. I love it.
widescreen? Oh, you're further zoomed out.
Yeah. Are we not meant to start with goblins?
Not enough, like only until 4 players. That's how BFME1 handles it. In BFME1, generally in a 5-player or more game, you don't get any starting units.
Makes sense. So guys, we're
Yeah.
here playing the beta version of the next Blue Wizard mod update. He's done some cool shit. I like the new tunnels. They actually look a lot more normal and like less. It always looked a bit odd,
Yeah.
but
They were more bright. So what I added to them was I gave them a darker texture and I added some Moria stones around them, like the one in the back,
oh yeah.
I don't, the big pillar.
I don't know if this helps, but when BFME2 was in production, I actually had the collector's edition, which showed you how they made it, and a lot of the goblin architecture was just straight up based off their armor.
Yeah, right. You told me that.
Yeah, which worked.
Yeah. So the idea here was that the old goblins, they had all the textures, all the buildings they used. It was like very colorful, a lot of different colored buildings, and it didn't really make sense. So I wanted to generate the idea that goblins build upon dwarven ruins, because we're talking about Moria. The goblins infiltrated Moria. They built around the dwarven architecture. So we have all these dwarfish ruins around the structures.
Which
That's
makes
the idea.
like way more sense. I also like you removed the Moria sort of beam.
Yeah.
I always thought it looked really like out of place or strange.
Yeah, it was very controversial. Actually, just today, someone else told me that it looked so random that it actually looked somewhat cool, and they think that it would make sense to get it back. But I then said I had a choice between having a buggy structure because the old one was buggy,
Yeah,
or between
I
yeah,
found
go ahead.
that like sometimes when my units would go near it, it would have a shit fit.
Yeah, like the hitbox was very large, and when you rebuild it, it was showing some ground from the Moria mission. It was not good, so I wanted to remake that building from scratch.
It didn't look so bad that it was like horrible. It just looked like, to me, it just looked odd. But I would go with being
Yeah.
practical over like looks.
Yeah, true.
Like
So
yeah.
let's capture that outpost. So far, no viewers. I'm not sure if that's the right time to actually get viewers on Twitch, but yeah.
Twitch is a weird one. The way they actually advertise things is completely based on views alone. So like
Yeah, correct.
essentially, if like say you're recording BFME1 it will like put you at the bottom of the list if you have the least amount of views. So you kind of need an audience to begin with.
Correct.
Which,
Yeah, it's
I don't like that.
sometimes, for BFME, it's actually not that bad because, for example, if I search for BFME on Twitch, then there's usually only a handful of channels, and I can see everyone who's streaming BFME. So
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
They introduced tags recently, which was probably a really smart move.
Yeah.
I don't know when that was, though. It could have been a while ago they did that.
So what do you think?
Like it. Is the Forge like a bit more HD than usual?
Not so much. I changed some textures of that.
It
But
looks
a little
like
bit, yeah.
it looks like it doesn't look as bright.
Yeah,
I don't know.
possibly.
I always find it odd when people like make evil factions with really colorful buildings, and I'm just like that's weird.
Yeah, that was my idea why I wanted to darken everything, and I hope it's not too dark. I have to hear some more feedback on that.
Yeah, we'll probably get some people saying, I like this or I don't like this. Sadly, you can't please everyone though, but this is the new Outpost, which looks way better than the Moria Citadel.
Well, there are two versions, Sometimes the Moria Citadel, if it's like if you look at my beacon right here, like you can garrison the tower.
Yeah.
And then there's the version that you cannot garrison, and that is still the regular Citadel.
Yeah.
So you have two different versions of that.
Yeah, I think there's I think one's like camp and not camp. There's settlements and outposts, and they're slightly different. I can never remember the difference, but one's slightly cheaper and doesn't do as much.
No, one of them, like there's the expansion, which is 500, and the outpost, which is 800. The outpost, the only difference is that the citadel can be garrisoned.
Oh,
Like you can put people inside, which is a big advantage because it's way easier to defend.
What I like about Moria though in this is you can essentially just spam out, take all the settlement, the like resource like plots, and just spam goblins from each plot once you have that power upgrade, and then it's like GG.
Oh no! I'm getting attacked.
No, that actually took a while. Normally a medium's a bit quicker than that.
I actually want to increase the difficulty a little bit of the mediums. It's taking too long until they actually do something. I think so.
AI is literally just, well, in like Rise of the Witch King, for example, all they are designed to do is spam and attack your eco.
Yeah, this is probably one of the reasons why I dislike that game so much. Like, I don't dislike Rise of the Witch King, like the units, but I dislike the fact that they only go for economy.
Yeah.
It's so annoying because I build up my stuff and I want to keep my stuff, and they just ignore my units. They would just go for my economy, and that's annoying.
Yeah, I've never liked the AI from Rise of the Witch King. Rise of the Witch King was actually oddly my least favorite BFME.
Because of Angmar, or
that, and I found the campaign really boring. I found the game itself to be a bit like buggy at times, but I played BFME1 from release, and I always preferred BFME1, but all my friends like the free build system.
Yeah.
And I don't like the free build.
I don't know what makes me like BFME1 so much in the blood system, but somehow I prefer that a lot. So my outpost is getting overrun. It's not good.
Yeah, it's probably not the best.
Actually, in this update, I made goblins a lot weaker.
Yeah,
because they I mean the goblin swordsmen that you can recruit. They were like the strongest units, the strongest starting units. Even in combat, they would defeat Urukai, and I let them run against each other, and I was like, "Oops, that's not supposed to happen."
Yeah, I did a showcase of Moria not long ago, and I just spammed so quickly and just rushed, and the game was over. Like I had them like backed into a corner within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was on medium, to be fair, but even then, that's a bit, like, silly.
Yeah, it's true. So...
what's this? Cave bats. Tainted land.
So, a neat little detail, I think, that I can show you right now is, look at my, a mine right here.
Yep.
And now, look carefully. Did you see that?
Yeah. Ooh.
Like the card shifts to the side whenever I purchase the ability to recruit units from that structure.
That's...
So,
I like that.
I think that's also an indicator so opponents can see how far the enemy player is in terms of technology, and so now the enemy would know that I have purchased that power.
That's actually...
So
that brings up an interesting thing for me, because, like, I don't know if you know, certain mods have made it that, like, you know how, like, if you're, like, a good faction, you get, like, forge blades and they glow blue and look a bit weird.
Yeah.
That was fine in the way of, like, that's the only way to tell if they're upgraded, but then you get certain mods that have kind of tried to go with a more realistic look, and you can't actually tell. And there's one thing that's always bugged me a little bit.
Yeah, true. I also, you know, I'm used to that because I don't know, it never bothered me, but then again, visuals never really bothered me in this game. It's not what I played for.
Well, yeah, even when it came out, it wasn't, like, super ahead of its time. It was unique, but graphics-wise, it wasn't, like, super...
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Well, BFME2 was a lot better, actually.
I didn't like BFME2 when it came out. Because, like...
I still don't like it very much.
When it came out, you could destroy walls with swordsmen.
Yeah.
And that really bothered me.
I remember that, and this was one of the reasons why I said this is a shit game. When I was 11 years old, or whenever it came out, I was like, that's shit, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's... and it takes, like... It's not very nice if you like to build up.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just not designed for that, and I don't like that.
So, what I actually like about BFME2 now that I look at this game a little bit differently is that you can always, you have swordsmen, you have infantry that is meaningful, and in regular BFME1, like in vanilla, you can, infantry is generally, as a good faction, not used very much.
Yeah.
It depends. You know, generally cavalry is always the way to go, and then later in the game you generally go for fire arrows and maybe some infantry, but cavalry is usually the way to go. And I like about BFME2 that the infantry has some more meaning.
Yeah.
Like just using soldiers to harass structures, it's more thought through. I don't know. In BFM1 you use your starting soldiers and that's it. And then you're not building a barracks. For instance, in multiplayer, in top level play, you don't use barracks anymore.
Yeah, it can be kind of like shite at times. Oh, Bulger's OP.
Are you using him or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, I find Moria's ego is so good.
I actually nerfed that too.
Because it was like, I abused it a little bit when I played. I was like, their eco is amazing.
Actually, for Moria, what was different is that mines would produce more resources than other resource structures. There was a reason behind that. Generally, the evil factions produce more money in BFME1 with the lumber.
Oh, don't tell me we've crashed. No. Oh, you cut in and out.
Oh, are you still?
Oh,
are you coming back?
Hopefully.
I'm getting a disconnect screen.
No.
Wait, let.
No.
I don't know. So you also have the disconnect screen right now?
Yeah, it says I can try to like vote to kick you.
Wait, what? The game just terminated.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to say.
Oh no.
I think you, because I think it's about to run out. Hang on. Yeah,
Wait, was it my?
I
I
can
think it
still
was my
play.
internet. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was my internet that had a. Oh no.
I now have
This is
everyone.
yeah. This is German internet for you. Like the internet here is so bad in general.
Mine's not bad. It's just I have to connect so far away from everyone, and it normally just like poops.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't mind having 60k though. That's cool.
Yeah, I saved some money for you.
Oh, too bad you can't even like view my screen, because then we could just like keep going.
Yeah. Well, we could do that. I don't know. Or we can restart, whatever you want.
I don't mind having to restart. Yeah, we'll restart because this is just. I know smaller maps can sometimes help a little bit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I streamed
So,
on Discord the other day and recorded it, and someone built so many fucking towers. It was dumb.
yeah.
That's why I don't like free build.
Yeah, it has pros and cons, but for me, I don't like it either.
Botta tried to fix some of them by making it like a little bit unique. Like they made it, you could only build in like a certain area, and you had a limit to towers, I think, and you also had a limit on You also had a limit on you couldn't build a second fortress, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Because like in theory, you could just spam fortresses if you got the eco for it.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So now there's a limit, or?
On Botter, I think there is. No one else has thought to do it.
Okay. Well, this is also what I think in BFME2 is the problem is that once you lose the fortress, is there a way to actually win the game? I don't know. I'm not a BFME2 player at all, but for me it's always like you lose your fortress, you cannot do anything. If you don't have a builder, you have problems. If you don't have, and you cannot use any special powers too.
Yeah, it's basically you die once your all your military buildings are destroyed.
Yeah, so I think it's too much of a handicap once you lose the fortress, but yeah, then again I think that's a purpose. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like I know I've been one to like have one surviving builder and send him all over the map. Just
yeah, and I'm that person to lose the builder all the time.
Microing fucking builders. This is why I like a Dane. With the plot system, I don't have to micro builders, because no one wants to do that.
Yeah. Like, I can see the pros of that system, but I really see more cons. I don't know. It doesn't really. I'm not used to that. And I played Rise of the Witch King once, or like I played 5 games back in the day of official quick match on the online server of EA, and that was enough. Yeah, I didn't want to play it again.
Yeah, I think that was like, I think the last patch EA did for BFME1 was 1.03, and then they were like, no,
yeah,
we're done.
yeah. Anyway, I like that. What I'm trying to recreate here, and what a friend always tells me about my mod is that it's a nice mix between Rise of the Witch King and BFME1. Like it's right in between. It adds more factions, it adds some more units, and still keeps the BFME1 plot system, but somehow changes some dynamics, like fear, for instance. In BFME1, if you have a banner carrier, then you don't have any fear, then your units don't fear.
Yeah.
But I changed that, so only when your units hit rank 3, they actually get resistant to fear. So that is one of the changes too.
Yeah, I actually like that in BFME1 it's rank, not level. I don't know why that's
Oh,
been a thing for me.
oh, it says level in BFM2?
Yeah,
I
it's
never paid
level,
attention to that. Okay,
and
I had never paid attention.
they took it back to level 5 instead of 10 for units, but then 1.09 changed that back, so
Yeah,
it's
okay.
now level 10.
Okay.
I didn't see the point of that. I was like, yeah, that's cool, but I don't know. It was a visual change, if anything. I don't know if it actually helped otherwise. Oh, your eyes,
Yeah.
guard.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, look, it's the other citadel.
yeah. Oh no, lame. I thought you had to have the HD edition to get Orthanc' Citadel for Isengard.
No, no, no. It's the HD edition does not put Orthanc in there. I don't think so.
I think it did for like smaller camps, like expansions, but that was about it.
Yeah, I did not really work on the HD edition. I don't really know. I'm not using that. Even though it's nice. It's a cool mod.
Yeah,
But for me, it's more nostalgic to use the old model, the old textures and models. I don't know.
yeah.
But
Like
I can certainly see why it's better. Why some people like it more.
it just cleans things up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
he's pushing up here.
oh yeah.
Actually, I made some changes to this map. Usually there was only one crossing in the middle, and that was it.
I like
And
maps like that. You just get these awesome choke points.
yeah, but I think only having one is, if you are this player and you want to rush this player, you have to walk all the way across the middle, and
Yeah.
it's such a long way. So I had to make some shortcuts.
Come on, humans. Yeah, I like seeing Moria as a faction. To be honest, like everyone does Misty Mountains or like pretty much it's either goblins, Misty Mountains, or a combination of a few different. Like not Moria has not been done that much.
Yeah. For me, it was the first idea was similar to BFME2, just make a faction of wild creatures and put them all in. And it's still, you can still see that, that this was the original idea. But then I was like, BFM1 is trying to focus around locations. So you have Gondor, you have Rohan, you have Isengard, you have Mordor. And so I was like, okay, now putting goblins in there doesn't really make sense. So
Yeah,
I'll go with Moria and Lothlorien, even though I still have spiders in Moria and Vorks, but I think that's fine.
yeah. I this is actually bringing up factions. One thing that Age of the Ring have done quite well is they more do areas with like a combination instead of just like say Gondor, Rohan. Like for example, their Rivendell faction is pretty much Eriador. Or like
Yeah,
their
true.
dwarf
Yeah.
factions split up, and people are like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "Cause you know that I'm pretty sure in Rise of the Witch King there is a limit to how many factions you can have."
Really?
Yeah, it's
I,
Age of
I
the
don't
Ring.
think there is one in BFME1.
Don't think so because the Rise of Shadow mod has like
12?
yeah,
16?
they have a
I don't
Hobbit
know.
faction,
Yeah,
which is
they really went overboard.
fucking hobbits in Age of the Ring are overpowered.
Really?
You can rush and pretty much win with hobbits.
So were the hobbits in Rivendell or
Yeah,
in what
they're
faction?
so Rivendell's like hobbits, Rivendell, and Dunedain.
Okay.
I should be it. No, that's theirs. Damn. Come on.
Man, I would so like to make another faction, but I just don't see it happening for this one.
Maybe like later down the track you could consider it, but I don't think like
Yeah.
there's a few there. I would probably say flesh out the current factions before considering more.
That's absolutely the plan. And what I still have to do after this, I might as well talk about it now. I want to do the idea with the military outposts. I think we talked about this.
Probably.
Like, you get like expansions like outposts or outposts, camps, settlements, and you get one option to create a military outpost, which allows you to recruit units from there. And this is the idea. This is also, along with reworking visuals, this is one more thing I want to work on before starting anything else. I want to get done with Moria's visual update. I want to update the fortress for elves a little bit because there's still a lot of problems with the geometry.
Yeah, some of the walling's a bit clunky or looks like kind of out of place a little bit, but I think it's more a BFME thing than an actual mod thing.
No, I mean, like sometimes you can shoot through walls, and I don't know. And maybe I want to give them the gate back. Like the elves don't have a gate.
Yeah, that confused me a little bit. I was like, oh, okay.
You know, the reason was a very lazy one. I had no idea how to model. I had no idea how to create new models, and I didn't know how to make a postern gate. And I didn't have time or motivation to do it. And now that I've done all these visual updates, I also think that I can do that and kind of redeem myself for being lazy back then.
I know a modder that completely has to just reuse base game models because they don't know how to actually model at all. It's a different
I know
skill.
who you talk about. I know who you talk about, I think.
Yeah, good old Galgalo.
Yeah, but it's fine. You know, when I first started, I was just playing around with everything and I was happy about every change that I made. And then, and then I got a lot of help from Matis back then, who helped me with models.
Yeah, he's been doing it forever, so...
Yeah, he's the reason why there's an elven faction, honestly, in this mod. And then the goblins, I took a lot of models from Shadow and Flame, from the old one, which I had permission to use. But now I decided it's time to finally do some work myself, and I hope it's all together. The opinions will not be bad.
Are you using Blender?
Sometimes, not always.
I've heard that it's like quite easy. Not easy, but it's like alright to learn.
Actually, I learned I don't know. For me, it's not straightforward so much because I'm used to I've used 3ds Max in the past. I don't know if you know that, and I've used Maya, which are other 3D modeling softwares, and Blender is just using a lot of different shortcuts, and the layout is a lot different. It takes time to get used to it, and I've not found the time just yet.
Yeah, I know a lot of my friends. I'm getting a call. I might have to call them back later.
Okay.
If it's important, I'll leave a message.
Yeah. Just asking before I forget that. Did you see the new towers of Moria?
Yeah, they're not like the boring old. You need to replace the Palantir thing, but they're not the boring old evil faction towers that are always a thing that never get changed.
Yeah, like the Isengard ones.
Yeah, they're like, it was pretty much, oh hey, these seem to do it. Let's never change it ever again.
Yeah, well, for Moria, once I just wanted to do some basic rework, but once I get started, I always want to do more, and yeah, it's taking way longer than I want. Actually, the idea of the launcher that I released was that I'm able to make quick updates, like every week or something. But I'm not doing it right now. I'm just, I don't want to release anything that is not finished, and
I would
yeah,
much rather wait for a mod. Like, I don't actually think it's good to rush things out. I've seen people do it. The
yeah.
Wove mod was a perfect example. They would release like part updates that weren't complete. Like,
Which one?
War of the Valor, that got shut down for God knows what reason.
Okay.
They got taken off ModDB, and I've never got a clear answer to why.
Okay.
Most of the reasons I've been giving sound like mental conspiracy theories. But anyway, they would release like patches, but be like, oh, you can only play multiplayer. The AI doesn't work yet. I'm just like, why?
Yeah, the AI is a different story for BFME. It's not very easy. Actually, I don't think many people know how to make an AI for BFME1
Yeah, this
because
is
it's
for Rise of the
tricky.
Witch King.
Oh, okay.
I'm just the type of person that would rather someone like wait for it to work and release an update later than like wait ages, like than have small updates that don't work.
Yeah, so on that one, what do you think about Reforged announcing that they will only release multiplayer in the first release?
I didn't actually hear that, but that sounds fucking stupid.
Well, this is what, I don't know if they changed their stance now, but the idea was to first release a multiplayer beta.
Mm.
And then I think they wanted to work on the campaign and finally on skirmish.
So that's
Something
weird.
like this.
Just like, I don't know. Release it, or like release something complete, or don't. Like,
Yeah.
this half-ass shit has
I
always.
think they want to, get some. Everyone is hyped for Reforged. Pretty much everyone is. And they don't want to, keep people waiting so long. So they're like, okay, let's release multiplayer first, and then, this is the idea of every game nowadays. It's every game today develops when it's released.
Oh yeah, like
Like,
I don't know if you're a Civilization fan, but like Civ 6 was almost unplayable when it came out.
oh, I heard about it, but I didn't. I've played Civ. Oh yeah, I played Civ 6. I have the game,
Yeah,
but I'm really bad at this game.
I play a lot of different games, and I play a lot of games on early access, and most of the time they kind of now use the community as beta testers, and the best example for that has been AoE 3 Definitive.
Okay.
Like, they'll just release it and it will still have bugs, and they'll get the community to report bugs or give feedback.
Oh, okay.
Which is technically fine, but then, like, by the time you've got, like, the finished product, it might be 2 years later. Some people might not be too happy with that one.
Yeah.
Barrow Whites. I love it.
Oh. Yeah. As for Moria, this is one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most. I know I've said that a lot of times, but once Moria is actually, like, I'm happy with all the changes that I made. I'm really happy about playtesting. I really want to start playing more multiplayer games.
Yeah. It's like, I've seen you post at times in your server, like, we'll be playing multiplayer later on, and I think the hardest part about it is honestly time zones.
Yeah, that's true.
Most people play between 12 and 4 a.m. for me. So, like,
Wait, this is really?
yeah, so, like,
Oh, AM. Yeah, AM
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
they'll just be like, oh, why didn't you play? I'm like, because I'm sleeping.
Yeah, I think being Australian in that category at least is not good.
It's not as bad with other games. It honestly depends what games you play. Like, BFME is a very niche community, and without sounding horrible, most of them seem to be like, most of its fan base are like European, Middle Eastern, and sort of like those areas. And I've met
Yeah.
maybe 2 Australians the whole
Yeah,
the
I would
whole
agree with
time.
that. Yeah. I think it's it's really interesting. I think it's very popular in Turkey, for example. Turkey, Russia as well.
Yeah, there's like a
Uh,
whole sub community for Age of the Ring, like for Russians.
yeah, I think my mod got translated to Russian too. But I don't know. Someone I don't know made that, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine.
I would have asked first, but like,
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm happy that people enjoy it so much that they would translate it.
yeah,
But of course, it would be nice that to communicate that, and so I could also promote it for Russian players.
yeah. Like I've been trying to like, I had someone trying specifically for me to translate a Dane mod for BFME1 into English because they never made a English version.
Edane,
Yeah, there's
but they now have, right? Now they have.
not for BFME1.
Oh, for BFM1, yeah.
I always forget they had a mod for BFME1.
Yeah, its development stopped a long time ago, I think.
They don't even have a proper Discord. Like, I'm pretty sure their Discord was made by like fans, and then they kind of like joined later on.
You mean Edane 1?
The main Adane mod.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think they've got a bunch of the developers there now, but when it was originally made, they did.
Okay.
Cave Troll. Okay.
Oh wait, you're getting shot.
Yeah, they do that.
What do you think of the new? Have you seen the new portraits of Lurtz and Saruman yet? Or
No, I'll have to click. Ooh, it's one that hasn't been used before. That's kind of nice. And the last one I thought I've seen somewhere before. I thought you had shared it, maybe.
no, I didn't. I don't know. I just watched the movie, and I just took pictures. This is generally what I do. I wanted to watch Lord of the Rings again, and I usually combine that with making some snapshots.
Yeah,
It sounds super stressful, but it's not.
I rewatched all the Lord of the Rings recently because I got the 4K editions.
Oh, okay.
They were nice. They improved so many things. Like, a lot of time, like, you watch the Fellowship of the Ring, and when they're walking on the White Mountains, it's got like a blue tinge filter.
Okay.
And they
never saw it.
If you say it side by side, it'll make a lot more sense. But
yeah, I think so.
They made everything look more real, like more natural. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, they went with the more realistic look this time around.
Yeah. So, generally, I don't know. Someone also recommended me to watch Pirates of the Caribbean in 4K.
I haven't done that yet. I've got like 84K movies.
Okay. Well, I have all the DVDs and that's it. I don't have anything beyond that. I'm very old school on that. I don't know. I'm not opposed to having all the movies on my PC, but I'm not a movie guy in general. I have Lord of the Rings, I have Pirates of the Caribbean, I have Star Wars 1 to 6.
Oh, nice. I have
and
all the Star Wars on 4K now.
Yeah.
Like the physical 4K DVDs.
I'm not sure if some of the things from 1980 can be made looking natural, but
surprisingly, actually, the hardest thing to make into 4K is CGI. So the older films are actually a lot easier.
Yeah, that's okay. I can see that. Yeah.
That's why most films you'll see in 4K are just sort of like the non-CGI bits are like 4K, and the CGI bits are actually blown up 2K because it's
Okay.
stupidly expensive.
Yeah. Well,
You need the setup to make it worth it anyway.
have you heard of the theory that there might be? I don't know if I talked with you about this, but did you hear of the theory that there might be a new Lord of the Rings extended cut?
What? I'd
This is just speculation right now, but Peter Jackson actually said in a press conference or some other stuff that that there's still some unshown materials, and he's checking with Warner Brothers or whoever was the responsible person if there is anything possible. And so this is all we know. Like I don't know. Maybe I find the link to that
yeah, that'd be.
talk.
Maybe we could see the scorching of the Shire instead of that 30-second snippet we got.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we go that far, but I know, for example, like scenes where you see Gimli exploring the caves of Helm's Deep after the War of the
Yeah,
Ring, and
there's also a. This would not be lore accurate in the slightest, but there's actually a deleted scene of Eowyn fighting Uruk-hai in the caves.
yes, that too. And also, I think more of the Last Aliens fight.
Yeah.
Like the Lothlorien, the Goblin chase to Lothlorien. There's a lot of stuff that we have seen pictures of, and it's like low resolution videos, but it would be cool if there was another extended edition. I would absolutely love that.
That's actually, like, honestly, I wish they would have done an extended of Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, there are also a lot of deleted scenes, right?
Well, Order of the Phoenix had 45 minutes cut from it because they thought it wouldn't sell at the current length.
I don't know why. What is the idea behind this? I mean, everyone who likes Harry Potter watches these movies, no matter how long they are.
Yeah, I've actually watched a interview with J.K. and Daniel Radcliffe, and he's like, "You could have made 6-hour films, and we still would have had fans lining up, going, you missed something." Like,
Yeah.
like they would watch it.
Yeah, but I watched the video you sent to me about the fourth, and yeah, it all made sense what the person was saying.
Like, I didn't hate it, and like this actually helped me a lot hate it less. Was JK sent the director a message basically saying, "This book is really fucking long, and I kind of want you to just stick to the core plot."
Okay.
But then there was still decision making that made no sense to me in the slightest.
Yeah, they spoil too much.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
The plot, yeah.
Like, the whole point is there's like 7 ongoing mysteries, and they spoiled like 5 out of 7 in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's a bit weird, but sure, guys.
Yeah, so I already told you that the first 2 Harry Potter movies are my favorites.
Chris Columbus probably got a lot of things closer to the books than any other director achieved.
Yeah. But I also like the which one? The third one in its own. It's a really good movie. There's nothing bad I can say about it except for all these changes from the second movie to the third one. They were, for me back then, they were too much, and it just disconnected me from the plot.
Yeah, I guess that's like where Harry Potter really failed, for example, is they'd one director for 1 and 2, and then you had another director for 3 who he brought that dark theme out. But then they got this other director for 4, and then I think one director did 5, 6, 7. And it shows way too much.
Yeah.
I think I just found a bug.
Which one?
I set my giant to throw rocks at a tower, and he walked up to the tower.
Oh, I think you have to destroy the walls before the tower, in front of the tower.
Oh yeah, I've seen that happen before.
Yeah, let me see if I can destroy it actually.
Yeah, you can actually click on it now. When I first played this, you couldn't click on them to attack.
No, but actually my units are walking very much to the front. Let's see if I can destroy it. Oh, I destroyed the tower along with it, okay.
I like how half trolls are in this now.
They're probably my favorite goblin unit from BFME2. So I had to take them. There was no way around it.
They were different, which was good.
What do you mean?
They stood out in BFME2.
Oh, yeah.
I love the powers you've got for Moria, to be honest. It's probably one of the better, like, faction powers. You get a fucking Balrog.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to highlight, in the Evil campaign, you added so many heroes that it was fantastic. Like, that always bugged me with the original game. Like, there was so much,
me too.
There was so much they could have picked from, and they didn't like use any of it.
Well, actually, they had like all these heroes. They included them, but they removed them, or they didn't finish them. Like you have Gothmog, the ugly orc.
The ugly orc.
He was actually part of the game, but he was never finished. He was without animations and stuff. But he was in the game. And so was Grima. He was also in the game, but he was never finished. A lot of, they wanted to do so much with the ring wraiths. There was like Witch King unmounted. There is a Witch King in wraith form. They added all of this to the game, but they didn't finish it for the first BFME. Sadly.
See, like,
so
is this where a lot of people like get a bit like I've seen this new thing. There's now been a petition signed with 200,000 signatures, I think, to remaster all of EA's old games with the Lord of the Rings ones included. And everyone's like getting really hyped about it, and I honestly don't see it happening. Like, I don't think they're gonna.
No.
They get nothing out of that. Plus, I don't think they have the licensing anymore.
No, that's the biggest problem. They can like remaster all the Command and Conquer games, certainly, but BFME, I don't see that.
Well, so you're tied up between the Tolkien estate, EA, and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
All of them own certain parts, and it's like.
Yeah, no one cares about the real fans here.
Yeah, like that was another thing the other day. Like someone was saying, like. The Hobbits weren't that great, so the Lord of the Rings show is probably not going to be that great, and which I agreed on. But I sort of like also pointed out, and I'm like, you got to remember they're aiming to make it popular with the general public, not Tolkien fans.
Yes, they want to create. I think they want to create Game of Thrones vibes,
Yeah, probably because, like, honestly, from like a financial point of view, it's not the dumbest idea.
Yeah, sure. I don't expect a Lord of the Rings quality series.
No. It's like I don't really like... Like, I also heard they got knocked back for the rights of the Silmarillion, which they kind of needed.
Oh, okay.
So, there's that.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I see you upgrade... you up the cost of the Balrog, which was probably smart.
Did I? How much is it now?
80k? 8k, sorry.
Oh, yeah, probably. I think it was 6k before.
Oh, I thought it was 50. Maybe I'm going mental. I play so
50?
many mods. I get things wrong because I play too many mods all the time.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can't remember what did what where.
Yeah, so... what do you think of the new Moria structures? You can tell me honestly what you think, it's no point in...
I like them. I will say the Barlan's tomb makes sense, but at the same time it looks a bit out of place. But You needed
Yeah.
an idea for a like heroic statue, and honestly, I could not name or think of much else beyond that.
Well, I think the idea was more like the goblins get cheered up because they have a dead dwarf next to them, like something like that. But
Yeah, well, I don't know, I've been playing Lord of the Rings to Conquest, and like in the
yeah.
evil campaign, you literally destroy his tomb, you crush it to pieces, and everyone just goes mental about it. So it makes sense. Like,
So what? Yeah, I might have to like be it more of a demoralizing structure. Like you can like units close to it lose leadership or something like that.
maybe like I feel like,
I can see what you mean. Yeah.
but like with evil factions, I always go by the logic of go with a theme that's dark and creepy. Especially goblins. They're not architects. They don't build amazing buildings. They take advantage of like previously destroyed buildings.
Yeah.
Which you pretty much nailed on the coffin. Like they've never been. I don't know if Tolkien ever wrote about their architecture or like what their abilities were in that sense, but I think going with the theme of being dark and creepy and destroying like taking over other people's stuff is probably the best way to go, especially for Moria and Moria's history.
Yeah.
Dwarven history in a nutshell is dug too deep, got killed by Balrog or dragon. Repeat.
Yeah.
I said that the other day and someone was like, that's not true. I'm like, I'm fucking look it up.
Yeah, but it's like that. And I'm happy with how it looks now, but also I agree that the structure that I'm probably most unhappy with is also the tomb.
Yeah, just like you can be overly critical, and like that model was created in the original game, so I take it they probably put more effort into that, so it does stand out. But like that's also because all the other structures are like borderline black.
Yeah, well, what I like about the structure is or the idea of the statue is that it's the only evil building that grants leadership. You know, the good factions all have a statue, all have a well, and they don't.
Yeah,
Like
it's like evil factions never have a heal or anything, but like I feel like with most evil factions you'd be looking at bonuses that take away from the enemy and don't necessarily boost your own.
Yeah,
but that's
Moria does that a lot actually.
It's yeah.
They have cave bats and they have the defile power, and I think the defile power is too strong as of now.
Yeah, I think the lone tunnel comes back a little bit too quickly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll note that down. I don't know the cooldown right now.
I've just put one down. I'll tell you roughly how long it takes. Oh, you can only have two, so that's not so bad actually.
Yeah, it shouldn't be more than that too. You can spam goblins from all of these.
Yeah, I could literally just like max it out and have like non-stop goblins.
Yeah, I don't know if the economy of Moria will be so great in a player versus player game, because I think right now Isengard's economy would outclass Moria's.
Oh yeah, but Isengard is generally always late game OP eco.
Yeah. Oh, is it okay that I defeat the enemy right now, or should I wait?
No, it's alright. I brought a friend.
You brought a friend? Oh, hello.
Big fucking Balrog. At least like your Balrog in this makes sense. Like the main known surviving Balrog was in Moria.
Yeah.
Even though the goblins were shit scared of him, but like who wouldn't be?
And I don't know if you ever played Isengard or Mordor here, but actually Mordor and Isengard have access to Sauron. So it makes sense. I think Balrog is also of the same class as Sauron.
Well,
like technically speaking.
Yeah, like the Maya aren't all like equally powerful, but they're all Maya. They're all the same being. So like,
Yeah,
that's why it took pretty much a Maya to kill the Balrog.
yeah. Even though Gandalf was also not at full power because he wasn't allowed to
Yeah, he was like,
use full power.
that's a thing like that always kind of like irked me a little bit. Is people like, why don't he just use his magic more? I'm like, because that wasn't his fucking job.
Yeah, they saw what Sauron could do with his full power, so they don't want any more of that
Yeah,
around.
he was sent to sort of help and guide, not really directly interfere. It wasn't until he became Gandalf the White that that sort of changed.
Yeah,
And that's actually one thing from the films that bugs me, like, to the end of days, is that the Witch King basically...
defeated him. Yeah.
Yeah, when Gandalf the Grey actually took on the 9 or 8 of them on his own in the first book.
Yeah,
And was just like, oh yeah, no worries.
yeah. It was strange that he would lose to the Witch King, or at least they made it seem like he clearly lost in the movies. The Witch King
Yeah.
was more powerful than him
In the book,
in the
they
movies.
actually face off at the gate.
Yeah, it was a tie, I think, right, or something like that. Gandalf wouldn't have lost, at least.
I think he was holding back and trying to buy time, if anything.
Yeah,
Because, like, he knew the Rohirrim were going to come at some point in time. So
yeah.
I think he was generally holding back.
So let's see if I can use industry on your buildings. Oh, I can. Okay.
That's cool. I think that... I know sometimes that worked and sometimes that didn't work in the original game.
You can, like, if your mate is Isengard or Mordor, you can buff their economy structures, but you cannot buff the structures of good allies. So you cannot buff farms or blacksmiths. That does not work.
Ooh, alright, fine. I tried to, like, see what the whip would do to,
Yeah.
a catapult.
Well, the whip is basically, I cannot make the Balrog too strong. The whip is basically to flip an hero to you. Like, it's if you use it on a hero, he will come towards you. He will come flying.
I think my Balrog's stuck. Oh, it's because the gate's closed. No,
Oh.
Balrog!
Wait, you cannot. You can move him out. Okay.
Sometimes
Nice.
that's just a thing that happens. Pathfinding in BFME is a major problem.
Yeah.
And people bitch about, like, a lot of bugs in mods and that. I'm like, it's Sage Engine. It's limited as fuck. Like, you can't get miracles out of it.
Yeah, I actually like the OpenSage project so much, and I hope
I actually
that it will be.
I've been following that for quite a while now, and it looks more promising than Reforge at this time.
Yeah, they still have a long way to go. Make no mistake, but it's
Yeah, it's still good though. Like,
yeah, like how they are approaching all of that. Like the basic idea behind OpenSage.
I thought it was to pretty much improve the overall performance of the engine and have it so it's less limited in general.
Yes, so right now the game files, they are being read by the engine, and they're creating an engine that can also read the game files, like the textures, the models, so that no mod has to change anything for it to work in OpenSage.
Yeah.
Like, OpenSage is done, and every mod can just work with OpenSage. And you don't have to change anything, and BFME1 will be able to use BFME2 stuff.
Cool.
Like functionality. So BFME1 would get a huge buff from OpenSage.
When are you considering moving on? Like, do you think you will put your mod with it, or?
Yeah, sure. I'm just waiting for the day, but I think that it still takes 1 or 2 years for it to be somewhat finished.
Well, they're working on, like, all the Sage games, like the engine itself, so... It's probably,
Yeah.
it's quite a big part of it.
Well, I think they're focusing on BFME right now, or BFME2. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
they've been posting clips in the Discord they have. I'll link that down below if
Yeah,
people want to go look. It looks really cool. Just imagine, like you might actually be able to hit 60 FPS in BFME, which
yeah, easily. And the thing is, mods like Age of the Ring will finally not lag.
yeah,
This is this will be a big day because uh, right now the engine is built in a way it can only use, I think, one core of the
it's
PC,
it's one
like
core with
single core.
4 gig of RAM, I think, or 2. I can't remember. I know Adane uses a 4 gig patch. That is,
Okay.
yeah, it's a bit. It works. It either works really well or works terrible. There's no in between from what I've seen. Uh,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I'm just like with OpenSage, you'll be able to actually run it properly. Like I know BFME1, one of the I think it was 1.06 made it that you get 38 frames per second, and that's about the best I've seen out of this engine.
You can actually increase the FPS uh, for there's no limit, but the issue in BFME1 is that FPS is connected to game speed. So
Yeah,
whenever you increase the FPS, you increase the game speed. So
yeah,
this is tricky because the game runs right now. The game runs like 8 FPS faster than in 1.03. If you play 1.03 now, it is super slow.
yeah.
It appears super slow.
I know at
And
DOA we actually did some testing regarding you can force it to go to 60, but it doesn't actually go to 60. It just
oh, really? Okay.
yeah, it runs a little bit better. Apparently, like if you could get a hold of the source code, you might be able to change it. But yeah,
That's what OpenSage is trying. Like they're creating their own source code, and I really hope that they will push through and like get something releasable.
yeah. Like, look, don't get me wrong. BFME Reforge was a great idea, but I think if a team similar to, like, if it had a situation a bit more like Age of Empires Definitive, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if they're doing Age of Mythology Definitive, but Age of Empires 4 seems to be heavy into the works, and they're still updating the other definitives, but
I don't know what like about Reforge. I think a couple of issues with that. One is, of course, I am worried about the license. I'm worried about, once they are at a releasable point, the game is somewhat successful, then people will pay attention and might have problems with the distribution of Reforge.
yeah, we've actually like if you notice with Battle for Middle Earth, the biggest YouTubers. There's been other big YouTubers that have covered the campaigns like as a one-off, but like regular BFME YouTubers, the highest one's Redeviling is at like 42,000 subscribers. So that's only like a very small amount of people viewing it. I feel like if Reforge got like really popular and had YouTubers with like 300,000 subs, EA or someone will get wind of that a lot quicker. And
Yeah,
a Skyrim mod got shut down for a similar reason.
yeah, and this is one of the things I'm worried about, and probably the biggest one. But another one is that every mod would have to completely rewrite everything.
Oh yeah,
Like they had
it's either move to Reforge or stay where you are. Like I know DOA, we've said we won't. They're not accepting mods anyway. You can
yeah
you can apply, and they said they might allow some mods if the ideas are really unique or something. So we said we will just aim to get to OpenSage one day.
yeah. This is also one of the big problems is that they actually openly said that they would not support many mods because they don't want to split the community so much.
But they're
But
going
if you
to
think
by
about it,
creating it.
yeah,
It's,
yeah, if you think about it, they won't keep the community in open. Like I'm not willing to move, if I cannot mod the game.
Well, there's nothing in it for
As a
you.
mod. Right.
But you look
And
at it in
I'm
community, for
yeah.
example. Like, so Age of the Ring probably has about 5,000 members. Dane's in a similar number. And there's other mods. As soon as Reforged comes out, people are either going to go to Reforged or stay with the old mods. And it's going to completely rip everything in half.
Yeah, and I don't know if like Age of the Ring would be willing to adapt to Reforged.
They've openly, I think they've said like Reforged, something about their methods or licensing could be a problem, but Age of the Ring are finishing up after 8.0. Like that's
so they're done with that, or
yeah, they've said Harad will be their last faction, and they're going to go to 8.0. Which I don't blame them. They've done like just about everything. They've almost made a new game.
Yeah, they've done really great stuff with Age of the Ring, no doubt.
Well, there's almost not that much original content. It's all been replaced on some level.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you go.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, you don't like Angmar, right? The
Not
faction
really.
Angmar. I've actually always been more in favor of Angmar because I like the idea. Actually, if I were to make another faction for my mod, it would not necessarily be Angmar, but it would be a faction that would allow me to make some magic, sorcerers and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is after working with Moria for so long, I really want to get creative with some magic powers and stuff like that. So Angmar is, I really like the idea of these sorcerers. I think the units that can summon totems and stuff like that, of the Temple of Twilight.
Yeah,
I think it's called.
Don't get me wrong, Angmar has some pretty cool elements, but I think it was more the campaign and stuff that turned me off Angmar and not the physical faction.
I didn't like. I actually never played the BFME2 campaign or the Rise of the Witch King campaign.
The Rise of the Witch King campaign had some really cool ideas, but I just found it really boring.
Yeah, generally the the BFME2 campaign. First of all, I did not play it, not because I'm not interested in the story, but because it's also the free build system. Yeah. I just don't take any joy out of moving around my builder and then getting harassed. Like, it's annoying.
Like,
and in go ahead.
There's plenty of RTS games that have used free build and it's worked really well. I think the builder system is the annoying part of it.
Yeah.
Like Age of Empires, it's fine, it works well because it's villages and more Civ related stuff instead of just like a basic faction.
Yeah.
But like BFME1, when it came out, like even though the game's based off the films campaign wise, the campaign is very replayable.
Of course, obviously, yeah. It's so great.
I could play it like shitloads of times with different mods, like because you build your army up, you carry on through the campaign, and you actually like gain bonuses throughout, and it makes like you almost get rewarded, and it's worth it. And
yeah,
BFME2 just felt very lazy to me.
Yeah, it's just you jump from mission to mission. You don't interact with your army. You don't move on the map. It's just jumping from mission to mission.
Like, it's not terrible. Like, I've redone it in the Age of the Ring mod a few times because they imported it to Skirmish. But like,
yeah.
Beyond that, I considered doing a BFME2 1.09 version 2 replay of the BFME2 campaign because that was like my first proper series.
Did they change the campaign in 1.09?
They added like all the stuff they added changed bits and pieces, but they didn't like no major changes.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, about the campaign, I'm also working on the evil campaign right now. So this is still. I'm not sure how far I will go with the changes that I make. I have some ideas that would require me to do a lot of stuff. This is the problem. I want to just do a simple rework, and then for now, right now, I'm in Nia Harad, the mission where you play Mordor for the first time. Right?
That mission is so easy.
Yeah, and I really love that mission. I love the the idea of overthrowing the Haradrim. And I have so many plans for that mission that I want to just rework the campaign and make it harder, but then I want to add new elements, and this is taking so much time for every mission if I really want to go deep.
Yeah. I know someone was suggesting you like add new missions, and I'm like, I think that's easier said than done.
It's possible, but it's really not easy. And I said, I actually told that person that as a solo developer, I don't see that happen. If someone helps me with either mapping or modeling or scripting, I think there's the possibility, but I've looked for members. Like for 6 years, I tried to recruit someone for the team, but no one wants to mod BFME1, sadly. Or everyone has a team.
Yeah, I find that is a common theme. Like BFME1 is kind of like pushed to the side in the community, and no one really wants much to do with it anymore. They find it too limiting or not fun enough. But I actually said in my stream the other day, if me and Crusader had it our way, we would all play BFME1 online instead of Age of the Ring. But no one likes the plot system.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
I think it's for people like us that were alive when it came out and played it when it came out. It's a very different experience because it was so unique.
Of course, yeah.
Like there hadn't really been an RTS like it, from my knowledge, and I just remember it being so cool, like being able to control entire armies from the films. Like that was just. Yeah.
I remember, my sister played it before me, the game. So she would play the game, and I was sitting there. I don't know. I think I got my first computer at the same time, and I saw her play Mordor, and I wanted to play Mordor too. But you start the evil campaign with Isengard, and it takes forever for you to get Mordor.
Yeah.
And so I was like waiting for that point, and I remember that when I first played Mordor, it was like so amazing, even though it's just Mordor right now. It's nothing special, but it was that day. How old was I? Maybe 11 years old, 12 years old. So good.
So 2004. I actually still have my Return of the King game with the trailer and advertisement for BFME1 on the back.
Yeah.
I still have it. I would have been 6 when it came out.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I still have very vivid memories of playing it. And I remember, because my dad got it for me. He's like, hey, you're a Lord of the Rings nerd. Play this.
Yeah. I just copied a lot of stuff my sister played, because she had a PC all the time, and I just saw her play, and I wanted to do the same. So, yeah. I would follow what she was playing.
It was such a good experience, though, and I've never had the same enjoyment because I got BFME 2 when it came out as well, and I just remember, like, I found it easier for 1, and 2, it was just not as interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I'm finding, though, if you're working on the evil campaign, I don't know if this is just me, but I've always found the evil campaign about 3 times easier.
Yeah. Then it's more like you can spam your units. You don't care about losing them.
Yeah, like, especially with, like, Helm's Deep, Minas Tirith and that. They don't come out and attack you, really. You can just wear them down and you will eventually win.
Yeah.
I redid the good campaign, Shadow and Flame on hard, and I breezed through that pretty easily as well, but I still have trouble with, like, missions like Minas Tirith. Because I suck at defending.
Oh, yeah. I think you will have trouble you probably will have trouble with the new version of my mod. I actually changed a good campaign to like a good amount. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, maybe
Minas Tirith is difficult now.
Maybe I should replay it. What I did with Shadow
Yeah.
and Flame, though, I only really recorded the main missions.
Yeah.
Because I've done
I think that makes sense. No, I don't think many people watch the in-between missions anyway.
No,
I
not
think.
really. I know every time I do a Blue Wizard mod video, I think I must be the one person that records that. I get about 200 views in the first couple of days.
Yeah. It's I'm checking on YouTube occasionally. I think there was some Russian person showcasing my mod, but he was showcasing like an old version of that.
Oh, yeah, that
I don't know.
Like, it's like Shadow and Flame. Apparently, I'm one of the few that play that as well. I'm like, yep, because BFME1 rules.
Yeah, I actually I don't know if I told you that as well, but I was reworking Rise of the Witch King to be like BFME1, and in a way, like it's an exact or as accurately as possible BFME1.
Yeah.
But there's so many limits in terms of. I think one of the limits is that the minimap works differently, that you cannot see where camps and settlements are.
Yeah, that's even a Dane have it like it looks weird in the minimap.
Yeah.
Like when you have like say you've got a farm on a build plot, it's just the color's a little dot in the build plot.
Yes.
And for people like me that are fucking blind.
Yeah, there's no other way, sadly, to make that. And another thing is that you would be stuck with is the campaign. So if I port BFME1 to BFME2, I would have to somehow work with their campaign system. Like you only have a picture and then you jump from mission to mission. You cannot copy the living world from BFME1.
Yeah, that's
not.
See, that's actually one of my favorite aspects, and I know they made the War of the Ring mode that's meant to be like a nostalgia comparison, but come on, that's a piece like that is not the same. Also,
yeah.
like I'm gonna get shot for this. I actually didn't like the artwork transition between the two, so like with BFME1, it was like all the portraits were from the movies.
Yeah.
And then in BFME2, it was all like drawn.
Yeah, they had trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I never liked it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I can see why they did it. Certainly. I mean, there was no Goblin King in the movie in the Lord of the Rings. There was no. I think Glorfindel was in the movie, but it was a really strange guy.
Glorfindel.
Yeah, Glorfindel.
I think he's in the background for like 1 or 2 scenes.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like he's an epic elf.
No, he kind of looks like a doofus.
Yeah,
like,
and this is the
Círdan's in it like very briefly at the end of the 3rd film, and he hasn't got his majestic beard or anything. I don't think.
Yeah, I think. Do you remember how Mike Glorfindel looks, like the portrait?
Yeah, he looks like you're the one.
He's very happy.
Yeah, he's like smiling with a grin.
Yeah, but I like this guy more than the guy who was actually Glorfindel in the movie. I don't know.
I can't actually remember.
I think the Elven Alliance used the real Glorfindel.
Yeah.
For the portrait, and I didn't like that guy as my portrait, so I changed to that guy.
Well, that's the thing. If they make an extended, they have so much they could add. Like Like they had.
Yeah, go ahead.
They had certain characters actually story arcs combined to cut time. Main example is Erkenbrad and Éomer.
Yeah.
The entire war in the north is cut out. That's why I reckon they brought the elves down steep to kind of like You're like, hey, the elves were doing something.
Yeah.
They have a lot they could.
No. Yeah, but I think we won't see anything that that was not shot back in the day,
Oh,
because you don't get the actors. They're like 20 years older now.
To be fair, Viggo Mortensen has not aged a day.
Yeah, did he have gray hair back then? I don't know. Like he looks.
That's the only difference, is his hair went grey.
Yeah, I think you could somehow twist it to work if every actor was like, but you can clearly tell in the Hobbit movie that Legolas is older. Like the Orlando Bloom is older than.
Yeah, and they CGI'd his face to make him look younger, and it looked fucking weird.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. I actually thought, first of all, I was like, cool, we have Orlando Bloom back, but now I don't think it was such a good idea.
I don't remember Legolas even being in the book.
I don't think he was.
No, I think he was mentioned a few times. It's like at the end of the Hobbit Extended, Sandriel tells Legolas to go find a ranger named Strider. I'm like, yep, he's gonna go find 10-year-old Aragorn.
Yeah,
I was like,
I thought that too.
I was like
he made a name for himself, the 10-year-old.
Yeah, it's like, I understand they tried to make parallels with the two trilogies, or they tried to make references, but that was so desperate.
Yeah. I think we had enough parallels with Frodo in the beginning, and then we had Gandalf. I think that was enough.
Yeah, and like they did the whole, like they tried to recreate the Legolas Gimli relationship with one of the fucking twins. I can't remember half the dwarves' names, which is a bad sign in a movie.
Well, I can remember the names, I think, but I don't know which dwarf is which name. It's matches the name. I don't know.
Yeah,
like Feely and Keely. One of them was, as my aunt would say, he was the beautiful dwarf who would die in the end.
Yeah, like they tried to redo the whole Legolas Gimli relationship thing, which was kind of a bit of a shit in the face to Tolkien fans.
Like, which one was it though?
I think it was Killy.
Yeah, he was. But he was the one who fell in love with the elven girl.
Yeah, who wasn't in the fucking book either.
Yeah, I don't mind her being in the book, but it was so desperate to get them together, like to force the romance. They tried to do an Aragorn Arwen thing in that movie, and it didn't work.
The Aragorn Arwen thing makes way more sense. Like, he grew up in Rivendell. Basically, he's pretty much he is related to them.
Yeah.
Like him and Arwen would be cousins, like 50 billion times removed.
Yeah.
Because Aragorn's related to Elros.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's strange, but it's fine.
Game of Thrones is way worse.
Yeah.
That was like realistic, history-wise, though.
Which one?
I mean, like the whole brother-sister marrying, keeping the blood pure. That's a very big thing in history.
Yeah, it's true.
Egyptians, looking at you guys. I think just about every royal family is related to some degree in Europe.
Yeah, isn't that like there's a prominent illness, I think, in the English royal family that has kept itself through the generations. I don't know which one. It wasn't really a bad one. I don't know.
I know.
No, maybe I'm telling something stupid. I don't know.
Queen Elizabeth II and Philip are like second cousins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know nothing about the royal family. I know Queen Elizabeth is the head of the royal family, and that's it.
We kind of know a bit because we're still under the royal family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Australia.
So you never were independent from England entirely.
Yeah, we're about as independent you can be as a sovereign state.
Yeah, I think I know that Canada still also has the Queen as their head of state.
Yeah, it's more of a figure now. Like, she doesn't fucking do anything anymore.
Yeah, right.
Like, we have our own prime minister, we do our own laws and stuff. It used to be in the 1960s, all Australian bills had to pass through British Parliament before it could come through our Parliament. They got rid of that because it took too long to do anything.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Anyway, that topic could go forever.
Yeah, well, back to BFME.
Did you actually get anyone joining the stream?
I have one viewer now. Is that you?
No.
Okay, then I have one viewer now.
Hello.
Hello.
Why are you talking about the Royals? Shut up.
Yeah, why am I talking about the Royals and have BFME open at the same time?
No, I'm good at
yeah,
getting
reasons.
sidetracked.
Yeah. So anyway, I think Reforged is I don't see it. Well, maybe they can surprise me, but I'm not convinced of that project. There are too many issues related to that. It looks good for sure.
I actually spoke to a friend who will remain anonymous, but in the Age of the Ring server, because they said I wouldn't mention it here, there are issues, so I decided to message him. I'm like, can you tell me some of the issues? And
okay.
They're working with assets from BFME, but not BFME itself, making what they are making an entire new game. The problem with that, though, is they're making that without the rights of both Battle for Middle-earth devs and without Middle-earth Tolkien estate. So there is a big chance that a lawyer will go, hey, can you not do that? And I will add to that, Warner Brothers could probably have a say as well.
Of course, you're drawing away customers.
And look, when it comes to legal rights with Lord of the Rings in general, it's a pain in the ass, because one example, Christopher Tolkien after the Hobbit films basically went, haha, no.
Yeah.
He was sick of it. And he's died now. It's the grandson and someone else that holds the majority of the Tolkien estate. So when it comes to games, that's why you don't see many games. It was actually Lord of the Rings Lego and Lord of the Rings Lego games were taken off Steam for a number of years because of the licensing. And it got brought back like a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah, but honestly, the games they make nowadays of Lord of the Rings or anything surrounding that, like, they're boring. To me, they are boring. You know, you have like Shadow of Mordor, fine, it was a nice idea. But then you have Shadow of War, which is the same system again. Then you have Gollum. I think the game.
I've done 2 react videos on that, and it looks.
I've not seen anything about it, and I don't care about it too.
It's almost like a stealthy Gollum, like a stealth game.
What is the purpose? Find the ring, or?
I don't even know. They haven't really shown, and it's actually got a really cartoony graphic look, which can work, but in this scenario, I don't think it has. But with Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, they played it smart and just went with the pretty much brand new characters and didn't really take many people from the original lore, so that was probably a good idea, other than Celebrimbor, of course.
It was a good idea, yeah. Go ahead.
In Shadow of War had good gameplay and good features, but it had what they did with the ring wraith and the 9 and giving them identities and taking real life taking stories that we already know and changing them drastically was just it was not a good idea. Like, for example, like changing Helm Hammerhand's story and him becoming an Nazgul was odd.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Balkanoid we just played, so I think we're done for now. We're just chatting right now.
Post-game chats.
Yeah, chatting about Reforged, about other Lord of the Rings games and stuff like that.
Yeah. Honestly, like with Reforge, I think it's going to be completely based on popularity.
Yeah,
Like,
I think they hyped everyone, but I don't know if they can sustain the hype.
yeah,
And
like the idea is great. It looks cool. I just like we're not really going to know much until it comes out, really.
yeah, I'm not painting everything black. I mean, it might as well work, but I see many problems related with that from talking about laws that might be broken and or copyright that is a problem,
Yeah, and when it comes to Tolkien licensing, it's run. Like, just
Yeah,
run. Like, I had someone argue that if they're gonna have a problem with like licensing, shouldn't all mods get shut down? I'm like, possibly, but no one really knows about them. So that's
yeah.
another thing. If Reforge makes a really big name, and then people get wind of all these mod projects on BFME,
They might shut us all down.
yeah. So like, don't quote me on that, but like, it's not out of the question.
Yeah, it's all possible, and we have nothing that we can do about it then. So Balkanoid just said what we think about Age of the Ring, and it's law friendly. Yeah, certainly is.
Yeah, I like the lore element to it because I'm a massive nerd, so that makes me happy. Like people like
Yeah,
I've had some issues with it before. Like, do you like prioritize lore over game mechanics? Which is a you could go on that one for a while, but for example, like I think there's only one decent example where I got disappointed, and it's because I was expecting something else. First time playing Gondor and
yeah.
getting the ring, and I'm like, I'm so keen to get the Lady
I
Light,
think I watched your video about it.
and I got Frodo, and I was like, oh fuck, okay.
Yeah.
Bilbo's actually really cool in it.
Yeah.
You can summon like a full powered Gandalf, and he's completely expendable. So you could like
Yeah.
summon him, kill an army, and then if he dies, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah. I think what I did, I like it more from a, well, I don't know. I think if I get the ring, if I get a powerful hero, then he should be powerful. And I don't know if as for Frodo, I'm more like, I know the one from the movies, the Frodo from the movies. He was not really.
He was a bit of a little
The,
whiny bitch, wasn't he?
yeah, exactly. Thanks.
He, no offense to Elijah Wood, he was probably just being told what to do and he did what he was told, but look, Frodo's meant to be a lot more courageous and daring in the books.
Have you seen the cartoons, the cartoon Lord of the Rings version from 1978?
Fun fact about that, the guy that voiced Frodo is actually the actor of Bilbo.
Really?
Yeah. Ian
Holmes?
Yeah.
Ian Holmes, yeah, Ian Holmes.
I watched that when I was probably 4. I haven't actually rewatched it, so I don't remember much, but I remember enjoying it.
Well, I think about this one, I think they did everything right with Frodo in that cartoon, but they did everything wrong with Sam.
Yeah.
Sam was such a goofy character in that one.
Yeah, he's meant to be a little bit like goofy, but not much. More just comedic at times.
I saw that one just today. I saw that video where he was like, "Oh, hooray!" and he was doing a weird dance while he was saying that. It was very disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Balkanoid, if you're still watching, so personally, Age of the Ring, I never played it because I'm not a BFME2 fan. I don't like the free build system. But I know the makers of the mod. I know its quality. It's really up there. Um,
Especially
yeah,
shout out to Meth, just who's been modding since '05, and his models are beyond, like, he could do way more with his
you mean
knowledge.
Mattis?
Yeah,
Mattis or
yeah,
yeah,
he could do so much more with his knowledge, and he does it
yeah,
for free. So like, Age of the Rings work ethic, just to appease to Tolkien fans, should be respected.
yeah. I must say I'm more of a movie person when it comes to making decisions for my mod, because BFME1 in general is more around the movies.
Yeah,
So I'm also taking lots of elements from the movies, but I'm not, I'm sometimes referring to the books too. But altogether, it's more of a movie mod.
yeah.
And yeah, I really want to do a seventh faction, and I don't know. I don't know if it will happen, but I don't know.
As when a DOA, we always just say everything's subject to change, so we never say
Yeah,
anything as an absolute. Like, people will ask stuff like, "Are you completely not doing Third Age at all?" And we said we have no immediate plans for Third Age, but who knows? Down the track, we might change our minds. Like,
like is your like Desolation of Arda, is it still focusing around the
second age,
second age, like Dagor, like the Dagor thing? Is it still
it's mainly second age and first age. We basically
okay?
took the only concept we've taken from Dagor is the fact that it's got first stage. Like,
Okay.
the current faction working on is Numenor.
Yeah, I've seen some models. It's okay. It's looking good.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
all on a break at the
at least you
moment.
have a modeler. Yeah.
Argus and Avadui are quite good at models. You could probably ask them how they do it. I just do administrator and beta testing. But
Well,
yeah,
the thing is, I could learn like modeling. I've created models before, and I could learn how to use Blender and stuff like that. The thing is just the time that it takes to learn such a program to an extent, while also maintaining, like, also doing campaign stuff, also doing the coding that is connected, scripting. It's getting so much that I would always choose to like do an easier way around it.
yeah.
Modeling.
I've had
So
some people say that like modelers are completely useless to a mod. I'm like, I wouldn't go that far. Like, from a game's like, if you're creating a game without models, you kind of can't have a game. But like, from an existing game, maybe. But
yeah,
like, having people that know how to model really well is definitely helpful. Uh,
yeah. I think it's the most desired position actually. That like modelers are not really they're not so many. Almost
yeah,
everyone knows how to code a little bit and do the indie stuff, but like really modeling and animating, it's I'm learning it right now, but it's not my cup of tea.
I know Meth just he's helped us out a bit, well Argus out a bit with Blender and like making models. And
Yeah,
apparently like it's a decent learning curve, but if you can learn to do it, it's good. Getting
yeah,
someone
sure.
else to do it's good too.
Yeah. um Wait, we just talked about the scouring of the Shire too, like because like the person in the chat, he's talking that he hated not seeing the scouring of the Shire in the movies,
uh,
a lot of the Rings
I can
movies.
actually respect the decision to remove it because it was almost like an extended ending. like
Yeah,
like the
it was like
movie was
the second climax, of the
yeah.
story.
Like the movie was okay, the original cut was like 3.5 hours. The extended was 4.5. If they wanted to add that on, they would have had to not kill Saruman and Wormtongue. They would have had that. That would have been another half an hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah,
20
I think
minimum.
I think from the perspective that it was a movie in the like you went to the movie theater and watched the movie. After 3.5 hours of watching the movie, and then finally Frodo, after all the whining he does, he drops the ring in Mount Doom, and then you go back and everyone like Aragorn becomes king, and then suddenly you see another evil rising, and then you're like,
From
movie's
a
not done yet.
yeah, from
Yeah.
a movie perspective, it actually would have kind of killed the ending, unless they somehow made the scorching of the Shire parallel to the ring being destroyed or something. But
Yeah.
it wasn't necessary, and I can see a lot more benefits to removing it than keeping it.
Yeah.
But it was.
And
We did get some images of it in the first film when Frodo looks into the mirror. I know in the books they both look into the mirror, and I'm pretty sure it's Sam that sees the scorching. But you get a snippet.
we never saw that. We never saw. I don't know. This makes me think if it was originally planned to include it.
Maybe, but as I said, they'll probably PJ's probably sitting there like, fuck, we've got like before editing, they might have had 6 hours of film, 7, 8 more. They'll probably as when movies are different, an ending has to really be a proper ending. You can't really have multiple endings, or it feels like, I don't know, less climactic, I guess.
Yeah, for a book you can always decide when to stop and when to continue, but for a movie in the theater you just have to make it flowy.
Yeah,
and
it's
have climax, and then
in the first film it ends with Amonhen instead of Amonhen being at the start of the second film.
Yeah,
because that was they had to give the first book a proper ending. I'm pretty sure the first book ends somewhere around Lothlorien.
Yeah, possibly.
And yeah, I can see why they changed that, because that would have been a bit of a okay.
Yeah, so what this is just me, and I can absolutely see why they cut it out from the movie. I like I would have loved to see the Tom Bombadil scenes and the Old Forest and the Barrow Downs.
Yeah.
But I can see, it absolutely added nothing to the story. So it's obvious why they cut it out. But
Game of Thrones actually is this is the thing. You could have done Lord of the Rings films and put them into a TV show, and you would have had a lot more time. But with Game of Thrones, a lot of time they've merged character story arcs together, or they've cut side characters out. Because every time you bring in a new character, you have to sort of explain who that person is and explore that character. So from a movie's perspective, they have to kind of really stick to the ones that are super important.
Yeah.
Not that Tom isn't important, but I could see why, cutting him out was probably a time constraint choice.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it would have added, as I said, you bring a new character in, that's another 20 minutes you might be adding.
Yeah. I like the idea, just having a person being resistant to the ring and adding some mystery, but I can see how the average person who goes to a movie theater not knowing Lord of the Rings would be super confused by a character like this.
Weirdly enough, I sort of see Tom as the Yoda of the Lord of the Rings saga. George Lucas literally left so much mystery surrounding Yoda's species and stuff, because I actually think not everything needs to be answered.
I think this is one of the biggest important things. Yeah.
Tolkien explained shit all about him, because he reckons it's good to leave things unanswered, because in real life, not everything is answered for you.
Yeah, this I think the Mandalorian now they further explore Yoda species.
Yeah,
with the mini Yoda.
the mini Yoda. They've actually, it's now canon that he was at the Jedi Temple during Order 66. And we have no idea how he survived, but they've still done it and not really explained much about his species, which I think was a pretty top move.
Yeah.
Have you seen the last episode?
No, I did not watch them. I completely ignored Disney Star Wars for after episode 7.
Is brilliant. It's really good.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, Balkanoid. No,
He's
not
like,
good night. I'm saying good night. I didn't sleep last night, so for me it's still night.
He's probably like, Star Wars, I'm
good
gonna
day
leave now.
Yeah, but it's just talking about anything. Mandalorian, yeah, I heard a lot of good stories about it. And I also heard that Luke Skywalker makes an appearance, so
CGI,
they got me interested. Yeah, I don't care, you know? I mean, CGI is at a point where you can somewhat reliably mimic characters.
They've actually done a Marvel and confirmed all these new shows for Star Wars, and Sebastian Stan might be playing Luke.
Who is Sebastian? I don't know anything about actors, so.
Probably.
But it doesn't.
He actually looks like Mark Hamill, so it kind of helps.
Okay.
Mando.
Yeah, like Mark Hamill. I just don't know what after episode 7, you know, or after anything of Disney Star Wars. I don't know. They just killed.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been way better, but I don't know. The only one I absolutely didn't like was Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, episode 7 was not really it wasn't anything new. What I loved about the old, hate the prequels however you want to hate them. I watched them as a kid and I never hated them because I was a kid. I didn't care about Jar Jar Binks, you know? Yeah. He was a goofy character and I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, the actor of young Anakin and the actor of Jar Jar got ridiculed so much they pretty much both ended up mentally ill, going off the grid, and their careers
especially the Jake Lloyd, I think was his name. That
he has schizophrenia now.
Yeah.
So
it's so sad, you know.
Shows coming up for Star Wars is Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, Lando, A Droid Story, which that one sounds pretty dumb. Star Wars Visions, Rogue Squadron, Bad Batch. Bad Batch could be really good because that's actually more from Clone Wars TV show.
Okay.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is not far off now, looks really good. Hayden's coming back for Anakin in the suit and out the suit.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I just want to see the old characters, and I want to see them not butchered like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't like the Phantom Menace because they brought a scientific reason to the Force, and I actually think I can sort of the way I saw it is, if you think about it, at the time of A New Hope, the Jedi were basically extinct. Darth Vader and Palpatine were the only ones really left. So they probably, by that point, the Force is probably seen as a religion or a myth. But in the height of the Jedi, they knew there was science behind it, and that there was a lot more information given to us. So I think it makes sense to have that difference.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, again, I did not care about the midi-chlorians, you know, it was just another thing I was like, okay, whatever. Nowadays, I can see why people might have been, you know,
a little
is it really necessary? I think my dad, for example, who introduced me to Star Wars, he didn't watch or he didn't like the first Star Wars movies, possibly for one of these reasons, because they added so much stuff that wasn't really necessary. But
George Lucas had his 12, well, he had 9 or 12 movies pre-planned. I'm a little sad that he gave his rights away to Disney, but
I think actually his ideas for episode 7 to 9 had something to do with scientific stuff again, something like midichlorians, but I think even deeper. I think he talked about it at some point.
Well, they finally confirmed in the comics that Palpatine is Anakin's father, because Force baby. Like, that was a bit weird.
This is one of the informations we just talked about it. Don't leak information like that. It's cool to have a mystery.
Yeah.
Like, everyone wanted to speculate, hey, was he like manipulated by Darth Plagueis, the guy who manipulated the midichlorians, whatever? Was he
gonna be Darth Plagueis, but then they said Palpatine would have made more sense, and I'm like, honestly, the whole mystery behind Anakin's parentage was fine in my books. It didn't have to be answered.
Yeah. And this is also why I don't want an answer for who is Tom Bombadil.
Yeah,
it's
like you
just speculate. I don't know.
Well, look at real history. Not everything gets answered. Like, it's people that can't handle like not knowing something, and like sometimes it's nice to like if you leave something in mystery, you can come up with your own little thing for it and believe whatever you want. But if everything is answered for you, you kind of just have like you're either going to be disappointed or happy. There's no real like positive to it.
Yeah. So what like wait, I just lost my my idea. What was I going to say? I don't know. Wasn't something important, I guess.
I'm probably gonna have to cut the video there, but I'll keep talking.
Moria, build me a throne worthy of Mordor.
Look at that, it's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Now, hit the like button, hit subscribe, help me grow my channel. It is my passion, and I really enjoy making this content, but it does take time and money to produce this content. So if you have a spare $1 per month, that would really help. You get your own private Discord server, and you get a free game per month. Thank you all. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye for now.